And joining us now is Sagi's father, Jonathan Jekyll-Khan. Jonathan, it's so good to see you. I was thinking about you yesterday and, of course, the other parents and relatives. What is your immediate reaction? What do you think the impact will be of Sinwar's death?
Well, first reaction, sort of is the obvious one. Justice has been served. Humanity will not miss Yahya Sinwar. As far as the what does this mean for the hostages, we really don't know. There are generally speaking, two possible directions. The first direction is the opening of opportunities that didn't exist. And sort of this undisputed leader of Hamas, following the assassination of Ismail Haniyeh, sort of the singular leader, both military and political, is gone unexpectedly. And that may allow, it should allow, for opportunities to renew negotiations, bring them home, and perhaps explore other alternatives of how to get hostages out in a non-military manner. Given the chaos that probably is running rampant through Hamas right now. So that's one possibility. And the other possibility is that Hamas fighters now, those that are holding the hostages, who knows what's going through their mind right now. They could exact vengeance on the hostages, those that are still alive. They may be panicking, and who knows what they would do to the hostages at that moment. It's very difficult to know, and it only reinforces the urgency of getting them home and stopping the madness in Gaza.
Now, the Prime Minister said yesterday that the war will continue, and perhaps he had to signal that to Israel's enemies as a deterrent. But do you think he's really committed to that? Because U.S. officials, from the president on down, are saying, you've done enough. This has been a successful military operation with horrendous cost, of course, for the people of Gaza. Now, focus on the hostages. Do you think he will?
Yeah. I don't know. His track record is not good for really focusing on the hostages as the main war goal. So it's hard to say. What I can say certainly is that I think what he declared yesterday about the ongoing war, perhaps it was meant for the ears of Israel's enemies, and they exist, but I think it was meant no less for his domestic coalition partners who, from the radical right, who seem committed to a kind of perpetual war, whether it's with all the enemies of Israel as they see them. And so there is real worry among the hostage families that instead of using this opportunity that, kind of came as a surprise to Israel, this was not a planned operation in the conventional sense, that instead of seizing on this kind of gift that was given, the end of Sinwar, to really pull out all the stops to get hostages home, Netanyahu and his coalition partners will use this to, beat their chests and show it as some kind of bizarre proof that military action on its own is really what they're looking for and can get the hostages home, which of course is complete nonsense. It was nonsense 24 hours ago as it is right now. The Israeli military itself has said repeatedly in recent months that Hamas, before the death of Sinwar, had been degraded enough militarily and as a governing organization that no further sacrifice of hostages' lives could be substantiated by incremental military gains. Now Sinwar has been killed, and so there really is no other justification available that's legitimate for the Israeli government to not go full bore, be it negotiations or other arrangements with Hamas fighters to get the hostages out and to end this madness, this that has caused such suffering amongst the civilians in Gaza.
Have you heard from the administration here?
Yes, most definitely. We've the U.S. families, the families of those 7 hostages that you showed before. We've already, since yesterday, have had 2 conversations, both with State Department officials, and very shortly we'll be having video talk with a very senior member of the White House staff. And so those, it's been sort of the one constant I think that we as hostage families can count on is the engagement of the administration and the offices of the U.S. government.
And
so there's no
like,
change.
I'm sorry. What would you like Secretary Blinken, who's apparently going to be going, to say to Bibi Netanyahu?
Well, I guess he could congratulate Secretary Blinken could congratulate our Prime Minister on successful conclusion of the war against Hamas. Now it is time to look towards how to resolve the crisis, and the resolution of the crisis is not more killing. It is getting the hostages home that will facilitate a ceasefire and figuring out what in the world is going to become of Gaza the day after Sinwar and Hamas, and under no circumstances to sort of go along with the Israeli government insisting that, well, now that we have them on the ropes, let's really beat them down completely, because it's simply not justified by facts on the ground.